Hello, this is a game of Age of Empires HD brought to you by Manbeast. I am submitting this game to the OzClan YouTube uploader, so hopefully you guys are watching it and hopefully it has gotten through the YouTube uploader. So I'm going to give you a bit of information about myself. The scores just froze for some reason there. But anyway, I'm going to give you a bit of information about myself as a commentator, and then I'll continue to talk about the players and whatnot. Okay, so my name on YouTube is Manbeast. I'm a very amateur Age of Empires commentator, but I would like to think I'm okay. Yeah, there's not too much to say. I've only started the YouTube channel recently, so hopefully a couple of you guys will enjoy this commentary, and hopefully a couple of you guys will subscribe to my channel on YouTube. So anyway, let's go and talk about the civs and whatnot. The scores keep on freezing, which is quite annoying. Anyway, in the green we have Manbeast, myself playing as the Huns. Whilst in the red we have Villa playing as the Persians. Interesting matchup, and I'll explain why now. The Huns are pretty standard civilization on Arabia at the moment. Mainly because they're such a fast-paced civilization, able of pulling off one of the fastest scout rushes in the game. Also, the main reason people like them is that they do get cavalry archers, very cheap cavalry archers to be specific. Cavalry archers are arguably the ideal harassment unit, mainly because they are very, very fast, they're also a range unit, and range units are normally better for harassment than close combat units, because the villagers can't wall themselves in to stay safe. They can wall themselves in, but then they'll just get shot by the archers and whatnot. So yeah, that's why they're so good. I think I do lose this villager if I remember. Yeah. That was really amateur by me. I tried to do something that the pros often do, which is use up the sheep meat whilst you wait for your boar. Unfortunately, I didn't garrison the villager in time, so well, my bad. So that's a bad start for me. So what we can expect from myself in this game is that I'll go Scout Rush and Feudal, then Mass Cavalry Archers. However, from Villa, as he's playing as the Persians, he's got a couple of options. Persians probably most well known for their war elephant, but they do get a very good nightline, and a lot of people don't really use their nightline to full effect. Their knights get +2 against archers. Now this is why things are interesting, because mass knights normally don't do too well against mass cavalry archers, because mass cavalry archers can fire over each other's shoulder, whilst the knights can't fire over each other's shoulder or attack over each other's soldiers, so to say, so to speak, whatever. Yeah, they just kind of clash against a block of cavalry archers, and they'll just get shot to pieces. But the +2 of the knights of the Persians should come in real handy. I mean, I would think it could be a game changer, but we'll see now. The scores have frozen again. Ugh. Anyway, my scouting seems to be okay at the moment. I have found my gold, my balls, which I've already lured in, and you can still see the dead carcass of my villager, and I've got deer. Yeah, I found pretty much everything I need. Whether I found all my sheep or not is I'm not sure if I have. Yeah, it looks like I have. Oh no, I haven't. 2 more sheep over there. Oh well. Normally you do want to get all your sheep, but it's not crucial. You want to get at least 6 of your sheep. If you don't get the last 2, it's not too bad. You should be able to still get a pretty decent feudal time out of it. Anyway, and I've just clicked up to feudal, so I should be okay. I think I do try to do some really weird war-offs in this, because my maps, I can wall my map off fairly easily, but my scouting wasn't too great of my local area. You see, I didn't know what was over here, so I think I do some really weird walling. But anyway, we will see how things go. Mining camp going down just to get that gold income that much quicker. I do try to take out that scout, but at last nothing happens. Anyway, so halfway up to feudal age, whilst Villa is... He could go up to feudal age. I'm not really sure why he's not going up to feudal age. It looks like he's going to go for a fast castle. So he does have the... normally a fast castle is with around 20 25 villagers, maybe 26 or 27. But anyway, the reason this is quite bad for Villa now is he's done a fast castle and he hasn't walled. If you do a fast castle, you really need to wall to stop that feudal harassment of your opponent. I do like walling a bit in feudal, just to stop scout rushes and stuff. It does help. I am walling from here toward my town centre, not all the way. The reason I'm doing that is just to, if any scouts come in, then they'll go through the line of fire of my town centre. So the scouts always need to avoid town centre. Villa is clicking up to feudal now, but by this point my scout rush should start to happen. I'm scouting his base pretty well. I'm starting to get some scouts out. Blacksmith going up, so I'll get the +1 on my scouts to make them that much more efficient at killing villagers. I do have a spearman out just to guard off any scout rushes that Villa might have in mind, because the Persians, I would think that they go for a scout rush if they do any rush in feudal, because they don't get very good archers. No one really goes for man-at-arm rushes, and they can use the upgrades from their scouts for their knights later in the game. Anyway, at this point my economy's okay. I am gathering quite a bit of wood, and I think I start to get some more villagers on gold soon. You might ask why. The main reason I do that is because I think I transition into cavalry archers later, and for cavalry archers you need a lot of wood and a lot of gold. Anyway, my scout rush is coming in. I still don't have the +1, and I haven't really done any major damage. I did cause some idle time with those villagers who were called back to the town centre. So remember that harassment isn't always about killing villagers necessarily, it's also about causing idle time and whatnot. So we'll see how things go. The scores are still pretty even. At this point I kind of suspect that something's up, because he had a very late feudal time. No rush has come in from him yet, so I kind of figured he might be going for fast castle and knights. We'll see what's happening. Yeah, he does have the eco, he does have everything he needs to go for a fast castle. I do manage to kill off a couple of villagers over here, but nothing too bad. He should be going up to castle any time now. Yeah, so things aren't looking too bad. He has got a load of spearmen though. I've killed 2 villagers over there. I don't know whether I've killed any more. But 2 villagers in feudal isn't too bad. You can, like, 2 villagers is obviously, you don't want to lose 2 villagers, but it's not the end of the world if you lose 2 villagers. He does put a tower on his gold, which is quite a nice thing to do. His gold isn't really in a particularly nice position, although he could wall it off fairly easily, saying that, but oh well. So anyway, I've got walls starting to come off. I think I do end up walling kind of around to this gold and then over to there. What I should have really done is just finish off the wall over there, but I don't think, I might slow it down a bit. I don't think I knew. Yeah, no, I didn't know that there was wood over there. So, and I have a lovely idle villager. For the record, you do not want any idle villagers at all. Idle villagers are something that you really have to get on top of using the idle villager button, which is right here, pointing to it with my mouse, right there. But yeah, no, you do have to get on top of idle villagers if you want to be a decent player. Yeah, I do throw down 2 archer rangers to start transitioning into castle. The main reason people do start going archers instead of staying with scouts in feudal is because you can save up food. Castle Age is very expensive. It costs 800 food, so you do want to go into archers or something else that isn't quite so food heavy as scouts. Scouts are 80 food each, so they are quite food heavy. Archers only cost wood and gold, so that's quite nice. Anyway, at this point Villa has gone up to the Castle Age. Now this is interesting because if he went mass knights now, like he is producing a couple of knights, but say he threw up another stable, he doesn't have the wood for it, but if he had 2 stables and produced say 10 knights, then that would make life very, very difficult for me. I mean, I think I do start producing spearmen because I figure he is going for a night rush, but I have another idle villager there. Yeah, even if he did go for 2 stables, produce 10 knights, then I think it might have been GG now. However, he only has one stable, and he only goes for a bit of minor harass. He is more focusing on his boom. For those of you who don't know, a boom is when you put up more than one town centre and start to produce a lot of villagers and start booming your economy. You start making your economy very, very big. It means that you can produce more military, and it's pretty much the standard castle age strategy for Age of Empires at the moment. Still have an idle villager. And I'm still warning, I'll fast forward it a bit. But yeah, at this point things don't look too bad for me. I have got 2 more idle villagers, 3 idle villagers. This is not good, but I am producing spearmen because I figure there is a night rush coming in soon. Town centre's gone up, and however I am about to advance to the castle age. Villa does send 3 knights over, but it's not too bad seeing as I have 6 spearmen out. Spearmen don't do particularly well against knights, but knights cost a lot more, so if you lose a spearman, that's not much really off your back, because spearmen are very, very, very cheap. Knights are quite expensive, so if you kill a knight with 2 spearmen, and even if you lose those 2 spearmen, you've done pretty well, because spearmen are cheap as chips, whilst knights are not. Anyway, so still doing some minor harassment, causing a bit of idle time over here. Nothing really, no major harassment. Villa is taking gold from 2 different locations, so that's quite interesting. What you should really note at this point is that my score is still higher than Villa's, even though I'm not in the castle age yet. I'm about to be in the castle age, but I'm not quite. He's killed 3 villagers, so he's killed 1 more than I killed of his. I just reached the castle age, and my score leaps ahead by 200 points. I think the reason this is because my eco is pretty good. Villa's eco isn't great. I mean, at the moment I have 1 idle villager, 5 builders, 13 farmers, and 8 lumberjacks, and 9 miners. The only idle villager I have is over here. I have lost quite a few villagers, but I'm about to go up to 3 town centres, so I'll be able to get them back quite quickly. But if we compare this to Villa, he has considerably less villagers. His population is 51, mine is 61. Yeah, so you can see there is quite a big difference there. So remember, eco is always important. I do start pumping out cavalry archers. Cavalry archers are, as I said before, very good for Huns. They get them very, very, very cheaply, and yeah, there's no real reason you shouldn't use them. I have got the pike upgrade because I figured that Villa would start going mass knights, so I did want to produce a couple of pikes just for defense. I do lose a pike there, but the amount of damage that knight took is quite considerable. It lost half its HP. That one's also lost around half its HP as well. Villa only has the +1 attack upgrade on his knights. If you go knights, you really need to get the armor upgrades. The armor upgrades are very essential, mainly because fully armored castle age knights are pretty impressive. They soak up arrows very, very well. They're very good for raiding. A knight can stay under a town centre for a very long time, killing off villagers, even if the town centre is fully garrisoned. And if you kill around 5 villagers with a knight, then you've pretty much earned its weight in gold or food, whatever. Yeah, knights cost gold and food, so it's a bit weird. But he's killed 2 villagers over here, but he's about to lose. He's lost 2 knights. He just lost 3 knights, so it's not really worth it. Whilst this is happening, I am producing more cavalry archers. I don't know how many upgrades I've got on them. I have bodkin arrow and fletching. Bodkin arrow and fletching are pretty much, if you go and do an archer rush, whether it be cavalry archers, crossbows, normal archers, longbowmen, chichonu, you need bodkin arrow and fletching. It makes killing villagers that much better. If your opponent goes knights, it makes them die that much faster. Really makes your men a lot more worth it. It also gives them extra range, so you're able to snipe off your opponent's villagers like I did just then. Anyway, there is a castle going up here, which I don't want to go up, basically, because it will make it very hard to harass. Villa has gone pikes to counter my... I think he went pikes to counter my scouts, but the thing is, as I'm demonstrating, again, pikes don't really work that well against cavalry archers, because they can just shoot and retreat, shoot and retreat. So it's really, if your opponent goes cavalry archers, go skirmishers and something else, but don't just go skirmishers, because skirmishers do very well against archers, they don't do very well against anything else. They do awfully against knights, they do awfully against and they're not even that good at killing villagers. Like, they're really bad. Yeah, so avoid going just skirmishers if you can. I am taking stone. I think this is mainly to get extra town centres up. Also, I wanted to get a castle because at this point in the game I'm thinking about going up to Imperial. I want to get a trebuchet. I know that Villa is putting up a castle, so I want to get a trebuchet to take that down. I do prevent it going up as long as I can. I do keep on coming back here to pick off villages and whatnot, but yeah, no, I think it does eventually go up. Villa has 5 knights in here. I think at this point he's just really kind of looking after his economy, getting a university up. He is starting to mass produce skirmishers, so he has picked up on that pikemen don't really do as much damage as they could. He has got 3 town centres up now, so he is able to boom a bit. That town centre is not in a great place, you can't put farms all around it, but it is in a decent place. I mean, it will guard this opening to his base, so harassment can't really come through it, so that's pretty decent. At this point I have a lot of cavalry archers. I think I just emptied my rangers, so I'll slow it down a bit because this is where things start to get interesting. I am drinking green tea whilst I cast this, so yeah, if there are moments of silence, it's probably because I'm drinking green tea. But yeah, the mass cavalry archers is pretty much the way to go. Yeah, they are really, really good. I can't really describe it as anyone else. I think I did want to take down that castle using archers, you know, just shooting at it until it died, but that would take a very long time, and I figured I could do something else, maybe do some harassment. I hear the town bell go over here, so I retreat, and I see these full archery rangers which have elite skirmishers. I could probably kill all the elite skirmishers, but it wouldn't really be worth it. Just as pikemen, you can lose, I don't know, 10 pikemen and kill 5 knights, it's still worth it. He could lose all of these skirmishers, and if he kills maybe, yeah, 5 or 10 of my cavalry archers, it's still worth it for him. Yeah, so I was a bit cautious about that. Now this is interesting. You see these 2 villages going across the map for Villa. Now what this probably signifies is that he's going to do a forward. He's going to do a forward base, and he's going to try harassing me from there. I have just gone up to the Imperial Age, so Villa does need to get to the Imperial Age sooner rather than later. He is picking up a second castle, so his base is fairly well fortified now, and he has got these 2 villages going over here. They do get attacked by a wolf though. Ah well. Anyway, I killed 3 villagers building a castle, but unfortunately for me, the castle has already gone up. Another castle coming over here. So yeah, I think I retreat for now, just to get my forces up. I start building a castle over here, start putting up more stables. What I figured was happening, because when I saw these 2 archer rangers, I figured he was just producing skirmishers. So I was going to produce a load of hussars when I get to Imperial, just to start you know, hussars completely destroy elite skirmishers, so that's the reason I was doing that. I do get husbandry as well. It'll make my scouts and my cavalry archers faster. Got the light cavalry upgrade, and I think I'm starting to get the armor upgrades as well. Okay, I'm not. I look like a massive cock now, don't I? Yeah, well anyway, I'm doing a little bit of harassment, killing a couple of villagers here and there. I didn't lose any cavalry archers, but I took quite a lot of damage from the castle, so at the same time, Villa is making a lot, well, I say a lot, he's made 2 stables over here, and I haven't realised. Yeah, if I actually looked over there, I could see that the ground is a bit weird. If you see that on Fog of War, that means there are buildings there, and presumably they're your opponents, so you should always check that out. And I think he starts building knights in there or something. Anyway, we've both got to the Imperial Age now. He's got a couple of knights in there. This could be a turning point in the game. Fortunately for me, I do have a couple of pikemen at home, but not that many. I mean, if he this amount of knights could probably take on the pikemen, so we'll see how things go. At this point I am starting to get quite a significant sore lead. I do have a huge, well, I wouldn't say huge, but a pretty big army. And yeah, that's probably the main reason I got score lead. I also have quite a good economy, 4 town centres. I can produce villages at an alarming rate. Now the Knights of Villa come in, and this is where things start to get interesting. I respond with my pikes, but I don't really have enough pikemen to clear this up. So he's only killed 3 villagers, but it's still pretty bad. I do convert 1 knight with my monk, so that's good for me. It is a fully upgraded castle knight, so pretty good. Although I assume Villa's going to get the cavalier upgrade soon. He does have a lot of elite skirmishers, which could be very bad for my cavalry archer army. However, fortunately for me, I have been producing hussars. Whilst Villa is attacking me around the back of my base, I figured I would start to attack because I thought he wouldn't really be prepared for this. I mean, one of the best times to attack your opponent is when your opponent is... Well, when your opponent is not really... Well, yeah, when your opponent is attacking you, that's one of the best times to attack your opponent, because they won't suspect that you're about to attack them. He also has quite a few cavalier over here, so they can't really make that much of a difference over here. He does release the cavalier he has queued up in the stables, but they're not really going to do too much when faced in with this many cavalry archers. However, what's interesting is he starts building a castle over here. Fortunately for me, I start walling this area off over here, but I don't think it comes into much, because I thought that he'd forwarded. I thought he was just raiding with normal cavalier from his base. Villa did kill off one of the trebuchets, but I still have 1 left, so I'm still capable of besieging his town. At this point, I'm quite concerned about these cavalier. I can produce villages at quite a fast rate, but it's obviously not ideal. Yeah, well anyway, we'll see how things go. I do end up killing off these cavalier, and I think I do start producing some more pikemen. I'm just checking on the scores to make sure they're not frozen. I have got 3 relics at this point, and relics are always worth getting. You should always get relics if you can. So yeah, I'm just telling you that. Anyway, at this point I'm trying to regather my forces. My forces have got a bit spread out, but what kind of comforted me was that I had killed most of Villa's army. At this point I just thought it was a matter of me destroying his base before he destroyed mine, and my army destroying his base was a lot bigger than his. Unfortunately for me, 2 pikemen and 1 knight backed by a monk will not take on 3 cavalier. And they're the only real force I have at home. I do start making more trebuchets. I think I wanted to make them to destroy Villa's base a lot faster, but I think I soon realised that there is a forward over here, and I decide to use the trebuchets to destroy this forward just to end this threat once and for all. Yeah, at this point the cavalier are starting to mass up, so I am starting to get a little worried. I do have quite a few idle villagers, because I have been making more villagers to replace the ones that Villa has been killing, but I've forgotten to task them to do things. I think I do have checkpoints for most of my villagers, but alas, I've just got sidetracked, I guess. Anyway, I am destroying these Villa's town centres one by one, tearing them down brick by brick. So things seem to be going well. At this point it does look like it's GG for Villa. I have almost double his score lead, and although he is doing some pretty decent harassment over here, it's not really doing as much as he'd like it to. I do have 4 town centres. I am able to replenish villagers very quickly. They may be idle villagers, but if I looked, I would be able to replenish them very quickly. Anyway, Trebuchet is starting to come out to try and take down this castle. Unfortunately for Villa, I think he makes this Trebuchet and tries to go forward to attack the town centres. Unfortunately for him, I have started massing hussars in my base just to defend my trebuchets, and I think I do kill off this trebuchet quite quickly. At this point my army is just kind of running rampage in Villa's base, and it does look like it's GG. yeah, not too much to say. I do send over 4 pikemen to try and deal with 5 cavalier. Obviously, then they probably won't do too much, but bear in mind, 4 of the cavalier are on very low health indeed. I mean, 2 of them have just died to 1 hit by the pikemen. Yeah, the cavalier were on very low health. If they were on max health, that could have been a different story. Unfortunately, they weren't. Villa does start going war elephant from the look of it, but it's kind of too late now. I have taken out his trebuchet over here. I do have a small army of hussars back at my base, who they do have all the armor upgrades. They only have 1 attack upgrade, but the armor upgrades are the ones you want for raiding and whatnot. So at this point it does look very much like it's GG. I'm tearing down this castle. My army is about to... well, I am about to tear down this castle as well, and Villa has resigned. For the record, Villa is a very good friend of mine on stream. He's a really good guy, and he's a really great player. I did say that, we did both say that this would be a practice game, because I do need practice as well. My game has gone down quite considerably since I had a holiday a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't play any Age of Empires whilst I was on holiday, so I'm not quite as good as I used to be. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this game, and hopefully you'll subscribe to my channel, which is, if you just type in Manbeast Age of Empires into YouTube, you should find it. Hopefully Maximus, the guy who's going to be uploading this to the Oz Clan channel, will also put a link to my channel in the description. If he doesn't, oh well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time guys, Manbeast out.